All right, today we're going to talk about the angle sum in any polygon. So yesterday we talked about the angle sum in regular polygons. Well, guess what? The angle sum in any polygon, to find the sum of all irregular polygons, it's going to be the same as our regular polygons. So for example, the angle sum in a regular pentagon we found yesterday, we talked about how that was 540. Well, in an irregular pentagon, it's also 540. So that's pretty nice. I can still use this formula right here that we used yesterday to help me find the number of degrees in a irregular pentagon as well. Now what's different then in any polygon is that we can't just split that angle sum evenly between all the angles. Now in a irregular pentagon, the angles are different. So how are we going to use that then? Well, here we have a four-sided figure, which we would call a quadrilateral. And we know in our quadrilateral from yesterday that all four-sided figures, if we look back up here, our four-sided figures, we're going to total 360 degrees. Okay, so I could also use my formula and I could say 180 times 4 sides minus 2. 4 minus 2 is 2, times 180 would be 360. So I'm going to write 360 in the middle of this shape, just to remind me that that's what the sum of all four of these is supposed to make when I put them together. So what I can do is I can write an equation for this. I can say 80 plus 75 plus 105 plus x, those all together should equal 360 degrees. Okay, so the total of them should be 360. So what I would want to do then is I'd want to go ahead and add up these three that I know. So add 80 plus 75 plus 105. And when you add those up, that should make 260. So 260 plus our unknown one equals 360. So then to solve it, I would just simply take away 260 from each side of my equation, and that will give me my x. So x then would equal 100 degrees. Okay? So then if I take 100 plus all of those together, plus the 260, that would make 360 total. Okay, and then also look at your angle to make sure it looks like it makes sense. So that does look like it's a little bit bigger than a right angle, so 100 degrees would be a logical answer there. All right, now this shape over here, let's see, how many angles do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 angles there. Don't forget this one, which remember that little mark right there just means that it's 90 degrees. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, yep. So we have a six-sided figure, so I could do my angle sum. I could do 6 sides minus 2 times 180, which would be 4 times 180, which would be 720 degrees. Okay, or we could look back at our chart up here at a six-sided one would be a hexagon. Okay, hexagon is 720 for the total. Okay, so all together, all of these angles are going to total 720 degrees. That's the magic sum for this one. Okay, so then what we want to do is we can set up an equation again. We can add these up. We can say, and this is going to be kind of a long one, let's write 90 plus 120 plus 112 plus 118 plus 130, make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus my one unknown x should equal 720. Okay, and then we go about adding all these numbers together that we know. So if I add all of those together, I get 570 plus our one missing angle equals 720. Okay, so then if I subtract 570 from the 720, that will give me my x. So then x would equal 150 degrees. Okay, that makes sense with this picture because it's pretty big obtuse angle there. So 150 is perfect. All right, and that's it for the angle sum in any polygon.